Hi everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Mike. I'm the National Training Manager at Salamander Pumps, and I'm joined today with Richard Ballard, who is our Product Manager. Hi Richard.
Hi Mike. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining our webinar tonight. As you can see on the title there, we're here to talk to you about Category 5, and that's what the webinar is about. So yeah, we've got a set of slides. Feel free to ask any questions as we're going through it, and hopefully between us we'll be able to answer your questions.
Hopefully, yeah. So basically the webinar is going to be recorded as well. So if we miss any questions as we go through, which is quite possible, we can come back to you. We'll have your email addresses, so we can come back to that on a one-to-one. You can ask questions throughout, or just wait till the end there as well. There's also a small competition where you can win a £30 Amazon voucher. So we'll have your question up a bit later on after the slides. And then obviously the first person that replies, they'll win that £30 voucher. So as Richard said there, we're here to talk about Category 5. What the 5 categories of water are according to the water regs, what a fluid Category 5 backflow risk is, what backflow protection is, and what applications require fluid Category 5 protection, and what is a TankBoost Category 5. So the CAT5 water regulations, as part of water supply regs, lay out the requirements for water fittings and plumbing systems concerning backflow prevention. The regs state that every water system should contain an adequate device for protecting backflow and fluid from any appliance, fitting or process. Contamination of the public water supply by backflow is a very real risk, and public health regs make it a requirement for all installations to incorporate an adequate backflow protection device.
What I would say then, Mike, just to interrupt there to you guys listening in as well, as a manufacturer, obviously it's that TankBoost is our first product that we've actually sort of developed that has backflow protection, because we've never really done a tank with a pump in it. And as you guys know, we do the TankBoost for domestic applications, but really when we talk about CAT5, which we're going to go on to a little bit later, it's for more serious health hazards. So it's just getting that understanding of where it sits in with the product. Yeah.
So obviously these are fluid categories, as Richard just said there. The TankBoost that we've got at the moment doesn't go anywhere near Category 5, but obviously the Category 5 TankBoost does. So water regs identify the 5 categories of contamination risk, which reflect its impact and risks to health. And these run from 1, which is obviously no risk at all, to Category 1 for drinking water, to serious health hazards in Category 5. Richard, just in your experience, what kind of installation would you say determines Category 5 or installations in Category 5?
Yeah, Category 5 really, for me, is when we're going into sort of central London, any city centre really, where you've got tower blocks, things like that. Quite often, you have these tower blocks and they've got the big Grundon bins at the bottom of these blocks of flats. So we call them bin wash down areas. So that is ideal for that sort of product,
Yeah. I mean, just some on the screen there, just different applications. If it's industrial, agricultural, but I suppose it's where you're putting the appliance as well, isn't it? So you can have a dishwasher in a domestic setting, and you've got no risk of, you've got low toxicity chemicals in there, such as disinfectant, but you move through. So appliance, depending on where it's located, would determine what fluid category you're at risk from. Some commercial premises, there's higher risk, obviously.
Yeah, and again, Mike, like you say about these products, and obviously if you guys installing as well, if you're doing any work at care homes, schools, things like that, it's very important that we would probably recommend go CAT5. You do not want any sort of that sort of fluid category being drawn back into any drinking water, because it causes serious health issues.
I think schools is a good one, Richard, because if you think of a school, you've got a gym, you've got chemical labs, you've got kitchens. So it's one of those areas where you've got to really consider the Category 5 as being at risk to a lot of people at the same time as well.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. And I'd say for you guys doing the installs out there, whenever, for instance, like, a main goes in the street, if you get a break in the main, it creates a suction, and that just draws water back into the pipe. So that is why you do not want to have, this sort of material going back into your drinking water. And that's why it's important to go through it and select the right product, really. Also,
I think that risk of backflow is like contaminated water. Yeah, the risk of contaminated water could be stagnant water as well, I guess. And like you say, if you've got back siphonage or back pressure, you're forcing water down the opposite way of the direction of flow. So you're potentially going to come and contaminate the mains, and if that mains is used by other households or other people in the community, you really put those people at risk if you don't use any kind of any form of backflow protection.
That's right. Yeah. Totally agree with you there on that, Mike. And that image you got on the screen there is a classic, farmyards. You got your cattle sort of grazing, drinking out of troughs. You imagine that if that was pulled back into the farmyard's drinking water, it's going to cause serious problems.
And I think it's what people kind of forget, don't they? So if they're filling a pond or something like that with a hose in a garden, and then there's the potential of back siphon or back pressure through the hose back into the mains.
Yeah.
So you've got like double check valves and single check valves, which are up to category 2, maybe it's category 3, but you need more prevention of backflow if you're using if you're using category 5 fluids. If you've got any feces or pathogens in the water, you definitely don't want them coming back into the main supply. So you need more than just a double check valve. You need a different device, either a mechanical device or, in our case, what we use in the TankBoost is the air gap.
Exactly. And just one other thing as well, if any of you have actually fitted any of our TankBoost products, which I know one person has on this audience tonight, Andy, but basically, on our install instructions as well, we always recommend, even in a domestic property, if you're using TankBoost, although it's category 3-4, always tee off beforehand and always have one going to like your kitchen tap for drinking water. It just eliminates any of these issues happening.
Yeah. I mean, the standard, we said at the start there, the standard TankBoost will have for domestic uses a different air gap. So the overflow on there to prevent any backflow into the mains, but there's some changes in the TankBoost TankBoost category 5 variant that we've got there. There's obviously, instead of that overflow, the circular overflow, we create the AB air gap. And what in effect that is it's basically like a letterbox, isn't it, Richard, along the side of your tank? On ours, obviously, there's a cowl and there's a mesh on there stopping the ingress into the tank. And the cowl's there just to prevent any direct sunlight, so you're not changing the temperature of the water in that case as well.
Yeah. And looking at both of them, Mike, as well, even the category 3-4 that we're using for domestic applications, it's very unlikely. You still got the air gap. It's very unlikely it's actually going to be drawn back into the drinking water. It's going to go out through the round circular drain, out to the drain. This one here, obviously the CAT5, is designed to come out through the letterbox and overspill over onto the floor.
Yeah. So a little competition there as well. I hope everyone's managing to take as much as they can from this. But we'll have a competition. It's a really easy question as well. Hopefully, if you've been listening, what type of air gap can be found on the category 5 tank boost? If you just put your answer in the chat, Richard, if you keep an eye out for the first person that comes back to you, we'll get a little prize sent off to those. Yeah. As I said, every water regs require every plumbing system to be protected against backflow by using a suitable type of backflow protection. So the AB air gap is that. It's either an appropriate air gap arrangement or using a mechanical device.
Right. Just interrupt you there, Mike. We've had an answer in from Dean Ashworth, and he's put category AB air gap. Brilliant.
Well done, Dean. That was quick.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Dean, what we'll do, we've got your email address. We'll get in touch with you, but you'll win a £30 Amazon voucher. as well. Thanks for watching as well. I think it's just you guys understanding and adhering to Category 5 water regs isn't just about the compliance. It's not just about following the rules, if you like. It's a serious risk and it's ensuring safety, if you like, to protect your customers and other people. So it's understanding what environment you need the Category 5 in. We've got the TankBoost Category 5 variant, so choosing the right one of our products depending on where you're going to locate the unit.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, Mike, you know, it is one of the first products we've done where we have to consider as a manufacturer the air gaps and for the domestic application, even like volumes of water for you guys, you know, fitting them. You know, we do various sizes, and that's based on people's applications. So there's no point in having a massive 450-litre tank of stored water if you're not going to be turning the water over regularly. So not only considering stagnant water, you're also considering what it's being used for. So is it bin wash down areas? Is it worked in a laboratory? Is it an abattoir? Is it a school? Swimming pools? You know, we're getting inquiries for the fast food chains now, like Costa's and KFC.
Restaurants.
So, you know, all those sort of things we need to consider. And I'd be saying, definitely CAT5 for that.
Yeah. And it's what I think you don't, in your standard jobs that you go to as a plumber, you don't often come across it, but it'll be that chance that you do, and it's understanding that it is a product separate to the standard TankBoost that you've got to use. It's down to the plumber to select the right product. Like I say, you don't come into that kind of environment every day, but obviously when you start thinking about hospitals and schools, and we'll have a lot of queries about, I think it's quite common now, probably since COVID and people changed direction, we'll have a lot of dog grooming parlours as well. So things like that is something you've got to consider. If you're using chemicals and using substances that might contaminate the water, and then obviously backflow or back pressure into the mains, it's just making sure you keep your customers and everybody else in the area safe from any risk.
I mean, like you say, you touched on earlier as well, Mike. Schools. You know, if you go back 5-10 years ago, all the schools were like gravity-fed systems. They had big galvanized tanks up in the roof. How were they protected? You know, they had sort of dead pigeons lying in there and stuff like that. And you think, hang on, this is a lot cleaner what we're doing now. But if we do it with CAT5, it's the safety and hygiene for all the students and the teachers and the kitchen staff and people like that. So
there's a lot of people in them kind of environments, isn't there? And people at risk as well. So like you say, hospitals, there's people that are already at risk. So you want to protect everyone, to be fair. Is there any questions from anyone? There's not many in the chat there, but if there's any questions that come up, or you want some more information about our products, our TankBoost Category 5 product, and also from you guys, if there's places that you think you might need the Category 5, let us know, and we can go through with our specification with you just to make sure you've got the right product. But any questions you've got, either come back to us separately, or we'll send a thank you email out to everyone. So if there's any questions that you want to ask on a one-to-one basis, you can do that as well.
No questions coming in at the moment, but again, you know, we've got a good team here. Certainly help with site visits as well. So we're happy to come out to site with you and assist you on sizing and getting the right product and right category air gap for you as well. So,
brilliant.
Well,
like I say, we're recording this as well, so we can send that to all you that attended, and it'll be available on our social media platforms as well. So if you want to look over that, and again, like I say, if there's any questions at all, just ask myself. Richard's always on hand, and we've got a really good technical team as well that can support you guys, whether it's specification or any questions you've got, really. Okay. Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Richard. It's nice to have someone
you're welcome.
On the other side listening as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you
guys, thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Hopefully see you soon.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.